In this world, it's just us. You know it's not the same as it was. In this world, it's just us. You know it's not the same as it was. As it was. As it was. You know it's not the same as it was. As it was. As it was.
Hi. I'm sorry if I was singing too loudly. Nobody ever comes out here during lunch, let alone finds their way under the bleachers, so I find that this is a good spot to practice away from everything. Pardon my manners. It's very nice to meet you. What's your name? Oh, I recognize you, I think. Are you in second period AP Trig with Mrs. Kirk? Yeah, you have to excuse her for introducing you like that in front of the entire class. Although that definitely does provide a short-term embarrassment, it will pay off in the long run. The class is only 15 kids, and she treats us all like her kids, which means monthly extra credit opportunities and monthly potlucks. You've never heard of a potluck? Is that not common terminology where you're from? Holy moly! LA to the Midwest has got to be quite the culture shock. Well, a potluck is a meal where everyone who attends the meal brings something. It's perfect for everyone because the kids who either can't afford bigger food items or don't have the time to make them can bring their utensils or the plates or the soft drinks, and the kids who can, do. And Kirk always brings her signature apple crumble in a pan, which is the best dessert I've ever had. I am sorry. You just met me and here I am talking your ear off. You don't need that on your first day here. Whenever I get nervous, I tend to ramble, and once I get started, it's kinda hard to stop. My name is Desmond, by the way. So where were you going before you stumbled on in here? Oh, you were coming here too? Well, you are definitely welcome, if you don't mind my company. Me? Well, I guess I owe you an answer in exchange for unloading on you just then. Before I start, though, the chicken sandwiches here are disgusting. Trust me, you do not want to eat that. Do you want to go halvesies on my shawarma instead? Yeah, they have shawarma here. It's this really awesome hole in the wall about a 15-minute walk from here. I have a study period after this, so I always walk there and come back every single day. The owner is the sweetest guy. His name is Omer, and he always gives me a whole for the price of a half. So technically, you have to eat the other half so I don't feel like I'm stealing. Good. It's lamb, pickles, cabbage, onion, garlic sauce, feta, fries, and paprika. Oh, and pita bread, of course. You're not allergic to any of that, are you? Good. To answer your question, it's more boring than you'd think. Nobody ever comes out here. Technically, we're allowed to come outside during lunch, but our cafeteria is such a social hub that no one ever really does. It also gives me a great place to, as you heard, embarrassingly, just sing, write songs, and not have anyone interrupt my creative process. I'm not shy about it or anything. I like having the separation between my school life and my music. Not at all. I was just singing a little bit of Harry before I ate, and I was just about to eat, so you didn't interrupt anything whatsoever, I promise. Plus, you're doing me a favor, remember? Omer keeps telling me to slow down before I put on some pounds, so he will be thrilled to hear that I found a partner to split this with. So, now that I answered your question, do you mind if I ask you one? Why were you coming under the bleachers on your first day here? The first? Really? I mean, that kinda makes sense here. All the seniors have their group dynamics already established, and letting in someone new at this point in their high school career probably doesn't seem worth the time or effort. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you definitely ended up in a much more monotonous environment than where you came from. I'm assuming one of your folks came here on a job or something? Well, one, that's the only reason any decent parent would take their kid to another city across the country for their final year of high school. And two, you haven't complained about either of your parents since we started talking, and on one's first day in your situation, anyone would have complained about them if it wasn't because of the aforementioned valid reason. Sure, it was kind of convoluted reasoning, but I was right, wasn't I? Exactly. Huh? Oh, before? I meant that this is a city that most people don't get out of. Inside that building is a group of kids who have their heads filled with dreams and ambitions that 99% of them are never going to accomplish. I know that sounds really harsh, and it's not even really because of them. I don't know what your mom got offered to leave LA and come here, but it must have been a lot because this town is a dream killer. No, the school really is great, and the staff here genuinely do care about your future. It's just different. So last year's class had a 98% college acceptance rate, right? Want to guess how many went to a school outside of the state? 3. 2 on athletic scholarships, and 1 because she was probably the smartest person this city has ever seen. The rest either go to community college and flounder around until they find a dead-end job, or go to a more prominent university in the state, yet still end up back here working a slightly better job and progressing up the very small ladder for the rest of their life. It's like there's a black hole here that sucks up everything and anything in its path, and only the most resilient are able to escape its clutches. I'm going to ask you a very important question, and I need you to be really honest with me. And if I'm starting to freak you out, and you think I sound crazy, you can just leave and don't look back. You feel it too, don't you? That feeling that only nothingness awaits you. That feeling that you're trapped in a world that's doomed to repeat itself into eternity. That feeling that this is it. Can I hug you, please? I've been alone for so long. I'm sorry. I'll explain everything, but we do not have a lot of time, so I'm going to go fast, and you just interject when you have questions, okay? Alright, you said I was the first kid to talk to you today, right? None of them feel it. All 75 of the other kids in our class have all grown up here, and my working theory is that if you've never been anywhere else, you can't feel it. I don't know whether it's because they're super accustomed to it or if it's something else that I'm not able to explain, but I've had multiple hour-long conversations with every single kid here, and I can tell you that none of them feel it. I was able to tell that you did within minutes of striking up a conversation, so I guess you'll just have to take my word for it. The longer you're here, the more you'll be able to integrate into their everyday lives, but they're so ingrained in whatever is going on here that it's hard for them to take in new stimuli. It took me until 2nd grade before I really started to become accepted. I think I'm not affected because I wasn't born here. I'm literally here by chance. My mom had me when she was really young. She was a heroin addict from a state over, and the last thing she did before overdosing was drive here and drop me off on the front steps of the orphanage. I really appreciate the sympathy, and I know this is information overload, but we gotta get through this, okay? I know for sure. I've done all of the research possible. I've seen the article. I've seen the autopsy report. I've even seen the security footage from the night of, and I don't think the director has the ability to fake security footage. Adults don't feel it either. Nobody ever acts maliciously, and everyone is really, really nice, but they just never leave. They don't have the desire to. And nobody ever really comes here unless, like I said, they're coming back from university or something. Where's your mom working? Okay, the good news about that is that it's literally just outsourcing. Nobody here was qualified for that position, so they just put it on an international job board and your mom found it. Like me, pure chance. The plan is simple. We're getting out of here, we're not looking back. I need you to answer this question honestly and with absolutely no nostalgia involved. I know that's a tough ask, but you have to trust me. Did you enjoy living in LA? And more importantly, could you see yourself living there in the future? Okay, good. There are a bunch of great universities there, and UCLA has a really good music program. Do you have a solid GPA? Hey, don't look so sad, sweetheart. Hey, look at me. Come on, look at me. We can get that up to a 4.0. It's gonna take a lot of work, but it is absolutely possible. You'd have to take all AP courses, but I'd be in all of them with you so we could And that is the bell. Listen, I know this was a lot all at once, and I don't expect you to take it all in right now. So think about it for the rest of the day. I'm going to write my address in your binder right now, and if you end up thinking that I'm not crazy, come find me tonight. Hey, from the moment you walked in here, I knew you were special. Bye.